So this video, everybody, is about the CMS, the Child Maintenance Service, and totally being not fit for purpose. You know, it's a strange system, CMS. This is only for England and Wales, by the way, guys, because I believe you have your own different system in Scotland. You know, it's something needs changing, because this system of the CMS and collecting money from paying parents, you know, the calculation that they do, they calculate your gross pay. What's that all about? It should be net pay, surely. Why would they take 20% of your gross? It's not what you're bringing home. You know, that needs changing to net, because it's putting a huge amount of pressure on people. And, you know, they've been known for adding false arrears, as is in my case, putting huge pressure on the paying parents. I was shocked to find out that 20% of all 20% of all people in the UK who take their own lives is down to the CMS and the pressure they're putting on them. That equates to 1,000 people thereabouts per annum taking their own life because of the pressures put on them by the CMS. Something needs changing. So this is my story. It might help somebody, you know. There's a few tips at the end on the way I've found the better way with dealing with the CMS if you have to. But my experience, it might help somebody. If it helps one person, I'm happy, you know. So originally I was paying my ex-wife directly. CMS weren't involved. And then the ex decided that she wanted to go through the CMS. Maybe she thought she'd get more money. I don't know. But anyway, it was changed to the CMS. And I started paying, and paid a couple of months, and everything was fine. And then they suddenly started false arrears adding to the account. This was not false arrears directly to the CMS. This was saying I hadn't paid previously. So they wanted proof. So I provided the proof, bank statements, evidence showing the payments going to the ex-wife, her name on the account numbers matched, the payments had gone. I thought, that's the end of that. No, they wouldn't remove the arrears. Even though I spoke to them on the phone, they said send it in on the online portal. So the evidence was submitted on the online portal. They still didn't accept it. So I thought, right, I'll send the actual bank statements printed, recorded delivery in the post, get them signed for. No, didn't make any difference whatsoever. They wouldn't remove the arrears. They said the arrears stood, even though I'd proved that I'd paid them. They eventually came up with, they wanted my ex-wife to state that she had received them and there wasn't any arrears. Guys, what planet are these people on? Do they really think your ex is going to help you? Especially in my case, when you've got a bitter ex, you know, I'm sure a lot of you have. They're not going to help you. They're not going to say, yeah, I had that money. So, of course, she wouldn't do that. So the arrears stayed on the account. So I carried on paying what they asked me to pay and not clearing the arrears, because the arrears were false. They weren't there. And also, because I didn't pay the arrears, the CMS moved me to collect and pay, which is where they add 20% fee on top for themselves, on top of your payment for the so-called arrears, because you're supposed to be in arrears, so they're going to penalise you by putting you on to collect and pay. So things go on now, and I lost my job due to medical issues. I was suffering very badly from mental health issues, depression, anxiety, after coming out of a highly abusive relationship. So I thought, right, okay, so I've lost my job through medical reasons. I need to inform the CMS. Went on the online portal, informed them, sent proof of universal credit payments. And I thought, right, that's fine, because what will happen now, the evidence I found by researching it was, if you're on universal credit, there's a set amount they take from your universal credit of £7 per week. So I thought, well, I'll be moved for that until I could get back into employment. No, they didn't acknowledge the proof of universal credit, which it doesn't make sense to me, because they're in communications with the universal credit, HMRC, all these people. So surely they could see that I was getting universal credit. They actually dropped the payments from around 250-ish to around 200 a month. Now, they didn't budge from that, even though they had the evidence on the online portal and they could get it from universal credit. And they set it at 200-ish a month, plus they wanted 20% on top. So they wanted 240-ish now. Now, bear in mind, I'm on universal credit as a single person. I'm getting £393 a month, and the CMS wanted £240 a month. How do they think I'm going to live on £150 a month for everything? Absolutely ridiculous. So, oh, and on top of that, they wanted another payment on top of the 240 to start clearing the so-called arrears, which didn't exist. Now, my universal credit would go into my bank every month, 393, and I found out that the CMS are the only organisation who can currently go into your bank account and take money out without your knowledge, without your approval, without any form of notification. They can just dip into your bank account. They have the powers to do that. I didn't realise that before. And I found about people who had this done to them. A friend of mine wanted to start a new business. He borrowed £5,000 from his parents, put that into his bank account, and the CMS took the whole 5,000 because he had false arrears on his account, same as me, but his has gone on for longer, these false arrears, and they were stating his arrears were, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000, and they took the whole 5. And he's still trying to prove that the arrears are false, and he's still trying to get his money back 6-7 months later. So because I didn't clear the arrears, and because what I was doing, I was emptying my bank account. So when the 393 went in from Universal Credit, I would take it out in cash to try and survive, because I knew that they could take that whole lot of money from me and just dip into my bank account. Even HMRC cannot dip into your bank account currently. If you've got tax arrears, they can't go into your bank. They're applying for it, and it's going through now, apparently. So that'll be another organisation who can take your money without any notification, just dip in. So anyway, the CMS now decided that they're going to up the pressure on me because I hadn't cleared these so-called arrears. I was getting letters and text messages threatening to send debt collectors to my property. Then they upped it again and said because I hadn't cleared the arrears, they had the powers to take away my driving licence or passport, or even both, and they could remove them from me. So this is when I thought, right, this needs to stop. This is ridiculous. I was talking to them on the phone. I couldn't get any sense out of them. I found that they couldn't wait to get you off the phone. They tell you anything. 4 times over a few months, different people on the phone stated to me that these arrears are false and we will get them removed within 24 hours and your account will be reset and happy days. I thought, great. No, it was never reset. The arrears were never removed. So after they put this more pressure on me, passport, driver license is going to be removed, all this stuff, threats of debt collectors coming to the house, etc., I contacted my MP. Now, she was absolutely brilliant. She contacted the CMS within a couple of days of receiving my email, outlining my case, outlining the false arrears, etc., how they were harassing me, how it was affecting my mental health. She contacted them. CMS phoned me and said, oh, we've had a complaint by your MP. We're looking into it. Give us 14 days, whatever, we'll come back to you. Which they did. Guess what? All arrears removed, account reset to 0, and a new monthly calculation going forward of 0 payment, which I didn't understand. And it's still 0 payment at the moment, because I was told that if you're on Universal Credit, it's £7 per week, and that's a set amount that they take from you. But mine's been set to 0, all arrears cleared. They rang me with their decision and they sent a letter to confirm it, but they won't admit that they did wrong. This is the thing, I said to the girl on the phone, I said, so the arrears were added falsely then, and you've now accepted my evidence that I wasn't in arrears. And all I can say, she said, all I can say is your account's set to 0 and we'll go forward now, and there's no arrears. I said, yeah, but they shouldn't have been added in the first place. But all this pressure on me, no response, nothing. So, this is not to say that I'm not a parent who's not going to pay for his children. I fully believe in paying for my children, not a problem whatsoever. I fully intend to return to work shortly, and hopefully I'll try and set up a private agreement with my ex where I can pay her directly and just cut this CMS out and not have to bother with them, because guys, I'm sure if you're in it, same, they're an absolute nightmare. They're a law unto themselves. So a few tips for you guys if you're in this situation now currently. If you're going to phone them and try and speak to them, you're going to be placed in a queue, sometimes over an hour long this queue is. And another thing, when you ring them, if you raise your voice to them in any way, or if you say something that they don't like, they will hang up on you. When I was discussing arrears and said this is after a joke, what type of organisation are you? Because the pressures, this is going on me. I said, this is disgraceful. She just hung up on me because she didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to answer, and I'd been in the queue for an hour. So the tip here is, guys, if you're going to ring them at 8 a.m. They open at 8 a.m. You ring them at 8 o'clock, 8:02, whatever. You will get through almost immediately, I found. So that's that tip. Anything they tell you on the phone, just don't believe them, guys, because the stuff I was told, oh, the arrears will be removed, this, that, you know, you'll get a refund, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't happen. They just want to get you off the phone. When they ask for evidence, always submit it on the online portal. You've got an evidence, then you've got record of it. But also, if you think, you know, you really want to go all the way, just send it by post as well. Record the delivery, get it signed for. If the CMS not listening to you and your arrears are mounting up because the calculations are wrong or they've added false arrears, contact your MP, guys. You've got to do this. And the more people that contact the MP, the more they're going to know about this. Will anything get done? I don't know. This has been going on for years. It's a joke. It's so easy to contact your MP. All you've got to do is go on to www.writetothem.com. That's writetothem.com. WRITE to them.com. Put your postcode in. It'll tell you immediately who your MP is. There's a button there to click to email this MP, and you start typing and you send it, and they send it for you straight to the MP. It's a brilliant system. The other thing is, I know this is an extremely difficult one, but do your utmost, guys, to set up a private arrangement with your ex. It's very difficult, but, you know, if you can, that's the answer. Cut the CMS out. It's just a joke. Just do your online calculation, what your wages are. There's an online calculator on the government website. Speak to your ex, see if you can do a private agreement. Pay him every month out of the of your net pay, whatever. And move forward, because I don't know what's going to happen with the CMS. I mean, it needs a complete overhaul. What's going on is just ridiculous. So I hope this video has helped some of you out there. Stay strong, guys.